Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Weekly Analysis. NVIDIA finally had a very good last week. Can NVIDIA cross 150 this week? Let's discuss in this video. We'll also take a look what are the different events this week that can impact NVIDIA stock price movement. Now, let's get started. Starting with the weekly summary, you see that in last 5 days, Nvidia was up about 7.5%. Let's compare it with the overall market. S&P in last 5 days was up about 4.7%. Nasdaq is up about 5.8%. Dow Jones was up about 4.72%. So you see that not just Nvidia, overall market had a very good time last week, especially after elections. Let's take a look at what is the forward P for Nvidia at this point. So Nvidia forward P on Friday after market closed is 47.32. If you compare with 1 week prior, it was 43.39. So good improvement week over week. Palantir, wow, 171.74 continues to go up. I have never seen any tech stock in the past that has this much high forward PE. That's 171. SMCI, no big change from 1 week prior. At this point, it's just 8 forward PE. AMD 33.40. Not a major change from 1 week prior. Now let's take a look quarterly percentage change analysis for Nvidia. Nvidia based on the cumulative percentage change at this point is up about 24.90 from the previous earnings. So as I mentioned in my videos multiple times in the past that about 30% based on the cumulative percentage change I'm expecting this quarter as well. That is in line with the historical data. For example, last quarter, Nvidia was up about 32%, and 1 quarter prior, 38%. So Nvidia is going in that direction, another 6 to 8% upside on Nvidia before the earnings can happen, based on the historical trend. Now, let's take a look at candlestick chart for Nvidia. So based on the candlestick chart on the weekly snapshot for last 1 year, you see that in the last week we had a positive closing for Nvidia. In the prior week, you see that we had 5 consecutive positive weeks for Nvidia, followed by one negative. Again, we have positive weekly closing for Nvidia. So I'm expecting next week also we should see a positive closing for Nvidia as well. And the all-time high last week we had 149.77 is still below 150. So I guess in my opinion 150 is a psychological level for Nvidia at this point. Now let's take a look technical charts for Nvidia. On your screen you see 180-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia and also the MACD chart. So you see that MACD line after making a peak here, it started going down on Friday. So this tells that the strong momentum is no more with Nvidia at this point. It's getting weaker. So two possibilities exist for early this week. Either Nvidia will make more correction and then it will start a rebound, or it can start a rebound from here and then we'll do the correction later this week. But either way, I am guessing that Nvidia should be able to break 150. So I have redrawn the Fibonacci levels by selecting this point as my bottom, and that gives a short-term perspective. because we entrusted what's going to happen in the short term, right? In next few days. So at this point, you see that the all-time high is 149.51, and that's also a strong resistance for Nvidia. So Nvidia tried to break this point multiple times last week. You see that? One time, two time, and there was another attempt. But it was not able to sustain above 149. So if Nvidia goes down and tries to make some correction next few days, then next level of support is 141.52, and after that is 136. So in my opinion, if we get more negative momentum in next few days, probably 141 might be a good support level. But I don't think that Nvidia can go down below this level this week. On the other hand, if we get a strong momentum on Monday, then there's a possibility either Monday or Tuesday, Nvidia can break 150 level. So as I showed in my previous videos, that based on the forward PE, I'm expecting Nvidia to touch 153 before the earnings. And based on the price projections, the min-max level, my all-time high for this quarter before earnings should be about 152. Let me show you. So these are the price projection I was talking about. The max 151.73. So I did this price projection probably 5 weeks ago, and I shared with you my data sometime early last month. So far this price projections working very good for me and probably for you guys as well. So now let's take a look the latest news regarding Nvidia. Now let's take a look the latest news regarding Nvidia. So let's start with this one that says the Fed will cut rates in December, says the economist. Then it's wait and see. Let's open it. So it says that next week's CPI data consequently loom large in fighting the odds of December cut. After December, it is anyone's guess. The 25 basis point cut in December is, in my view, insurance against further cooling in employment. So basically, they think that another 25 basis point can happen in December, and that will be good for the labor market. So we'll get more data when we get closer to next FOMC meeting. At this point, I cannot comment on that. So finally, Nvidia stock joins the Dow Jones today. That was on Friday. Here is what to know. Let's open it. So it says that Nvidia to replace Intel in the Dow, underscoring downfall of an industry titan. So probably Nvidia already priced in this news in the stock price. So I do not see any major impact on Nvidia regarding inclusion in Dow Jones this week. So now let's take a look this one that looks interesting. That says Nvidia's stock rally rolls on. It's more than a Trump bump from barons.com. Let's open it. Let's start from here. It says that Nvidia on Friday joined the Dow Jones Industrial Average, replacing fellow chip company Intel. So let's scroll further down. So that's important. It says that the inclusion is unlikely to drive much more buying for Nvidia stock as relatively few funds track the Dow. So that's what I said before, right? After inclusion in Dow, I do not see any major impact on Nvidia. And that's a very important point. You see that? That says the average performance of the last 20 stocks to join the index on the day of their addition was a 0.3% loss. So this data is very relevant. So this means that we should not expect a big bump on Monday on Nvidia due to this Dow Jones inclusion. So if there is a spike on Monday on Nvidia, that could be other reasons. Now this one is important. That says Nvidia supplier Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing reported its October sales hit a record high. The world's largest contract chipmaker's October revenue rose 29%. So probably that's a good indicator for Nvidia as well. So this tells me that in the next earnings report, Nvidia should report a good revenue growth and also should be able to beat the revenue expectation in the next earnings. I'm not sure about earnings beat, and that's a whole different story. We'll cover earnings beat probably in some other video. Now, this also looks important. That says Taiwan Semiconductor US expansion plans unfazed by Trump win. So this means that their expansion plans are not gonna be impacted by Trump victory. I guess that's all about the latest news regarding Nvidia. Now let's take a look at what are the different events and the economic data due this week. So you see that on Monday, no data coming. Tuesday, no major data coming. Wednesday, we have CPI data, and that's very important. We'll talk about CPI data probably on my video on Monday or Tuesday. On Thursday, we have PPI data coming. That's also important. And Friday, we do not have much. No inflation, no labor data on Friday. So Wednesday and Thursday are important for overall market. So regarding my transactions for Nvidia last week, you see that I bought more Nvidia stocks on Thursday and Friday, hoping that Nvidia can touch 150 or go above 150 this week. And if that doesn't happen, I will be very disappointed. So that's all about my Nvidia analysis and assessment for this week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.